Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to ShortSalePowerHour.com. I'm Fred, this is Kevin, we're Group 4610, and we're glad to have you. And today's Wednesday, this is our day where we kind of take a step back. We talk short sales, but we're going to talk more real estate business in general. So today I thought we would, Kevin's looking at me like, help me. So, today I want to talk a little bit around lead generation. And specifically, talk a little bit around internet lead generation, if we could.
Let's do that.
In our business and in the real estate industry, I think there's a lot of people that when they look at lead generation, they have a hard time determining what's a lead and what's not a lead. How do I convert and track my leads? How many leads do I need to get every month in my business to pump out X number of listings, to pump out X number of closings? And you and I are working our way through that right now in our own business.
I don't know that everybody thinks like that.
Okay, well, for those of them who are thinking like a business.
I mean, you just brought up a whole different thought for me, which is like our coach is always talking to us about internet lead generation and how.
Well, that's where I was going.
Yeah, it's not a lead, right?
Yeah.
So somebody comes to your website, and whether it's a buyer or a seller, it's not really a lead so much as it's a registration. So what? Somebody fill out a form on your website. Is that really a lead? I don't know. I would say on the buyer side of things, probably not.
Well, in this day and age, with all these programs like Boomtown and Tiger Leads and Conversion and I'm going to forget names.
Realty Generator.
I'm not trying to just single anybody. I'm just giving names that are off the top of my head. All these companies are out there marketing agents to say, we will drive leads to your business.
Direct business marketing
company. They're all sending leads going, we'll help you get leads, right? And it's awesome, but the questions you need to ask yourself are, am I prepared for them? How am I going to handle them? How many leads do I need to get to meet my goals?
What's my follow-up plan?
What's my follow-up plan? And then the question you went back to, which is, what really is a lead? For example, on the buyer side, of course people want to look at homes online and they're going to register on your site to see them. But is that really a lead, or is it more of what you mentioned earlier, which we would call more of a web registration, a website registration?
I'm telling you, and those are starting to skew the database numbers because, okay, great, so you can add a lot of people to your database, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's actually
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. But now when we take a look at the numbers, for instance, the research used to say for every 1,200 people, it was like one deal a year or 2 deals a year.
Dude, some people get 1,200 leads a month or every quarter from website lead registrations from their buyers.
Some people literally get
I know. We know agents that get 1,200 leads a month of buyer web registrations.
And so, I mean, you got to figure out what is your plan for that? I mean, how are you going to follow up with those people? Russell Shaw, I mentioned him in the last video, shared a thought with us one time around some weird statistics, something like 90-something% of all people that make a sign call buy a home within the next 12 months.
Wow.
So it was, for him, it was just a game of follow-up, right?
Follow-up, yeah.
So he had systematically developed these, he calls them letters, they're emails actually, that go out to his web registration people on a consistent basis. And I mean, they're nothing special. They're just good letters that make offers, but he does it consistently, and the guy sells 300-400 homes a year. So I mean, obviously he knows something about collecting leads. And for me, the web registration or internet lead generation overall, it's great. There's a lot of tools. You mentioned you rattled off like 4 or 5 of them, but for me, the bigger thing is, what's the follow-up plan? And then, how are you tracking that?
Yeah.
So, are you even tracking how many registrations it takes to get a deal?
Yep.
Because that's just as important. If you're going to pay for something, you might want to know what you're getting.
I'm actually going to make the argument that you could potentially have too many leads. I really mean that. In fact, Ben Kinney, one of our good friends in Bellingham, Washington, Keller Williams agent, IMSD, you name it, he talks a lot about how he caps the number of leads his buyer's agents get on a monthly basis.
30 a month.
And the reason is because, it is possible to get too many leads. And a lot of times we hear these teams and we hear people in real estate talk, I just need more leads. I just had more leads.
It's never a lead.
And you know what? You and I, now having started doing some of the mass marketing that we're doing, we don't have a lead problem. Now our thing that we're dealing with right now, working through, is how many leads is too many? How many for one person to handle, one person to follow up on? What are their responsibilities? So, this whole conversation, there wasn't really a main driving point other than to say this. Lead generation is absolutely the business that you're in as a real estate agent. It needs to be your first primary focus. You need to track it well. You need to hold your money accountable of where you're spending money. And ultimately, you need to be thinking big and have a big plan in place to bring leverage onto your team to be able to handle the massive amount of leads that you're going to bring in your business.
Yes.
And as you create that system, which is what we talked about on Monday, as you follow a model, as you create a system, as you track your numbers, as you set goals, as you bring new people on, you start having a lot of fun in real estate business. Just going, for you and I, we're now getting to a place where we can sit back and go, what's our target number? Like, it's not you and I converting leads, it's not you and I negotiating the short sales, it's not you and I showing the buyers, it's not you and I transaction coordinating anymore. It's a game of how many leads do we need to get, what do our systems need to look like for us to produce the results we want to produce.
It's because we're also in the talent business, but that's for another episode.
It absolutely is, and they all work together. So I hope somewhere in that big ramble of both of us talking, you got something, because there was some really good material and content there.
If you didn't, that's okay.
Go back and watch it again, or watch Monday. I like Mondays. We're going to wrap it up. 1, 2, 3. Short sale power hour. Short sale power hour.